King Charles has been diagnosed with cancer. According to a statement from Buckingham Palace, the form of cancer was found during the King's recent hospital procedure for a benign prostate enlargement. The palace has not said which type of cancer that His Majesty has, though. King Charles began treatment on Monday. He is postponing public duties, but will continue to work on state business and official paperwork.
Joining us now to talk more about the diagnosis and the impact it may have is Glen Duerr, Professor of International Studies at Cedarville University. Professor Duerr, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure.
Professor, the Buckingham Palace says that the King is going to stop his public appearances for the time being, at least those that are occurring outside of the palace. What impact do you think that is going to have, first on the quote-unquote firm, but also on his diagnosis in terms of just the people of England? How are they going to be feeling and accepting all of this at this point?
Yeah, there's going to be really difficult emotions following so closely on the death of Queen Elizabeth II. But certainly with King Charles, he just turned 75 in November, so people know he's of an advanced age, but it's one of those situations where you have tragedy after tragedy potentially, which makes it very difficult. And so an announcement like this one tells me it's very, very serious, especially given that he had surgery on prostate cancer recently. And apparently this is a different type of cancer, so making this type of announcement significant. The other factor is that this could be an election year in the United Kingdom, and while the King is a figurehead, the King could theoretically have significant decisions to make, so that's something to bear in mind. Plus, we have to bear in mind that Princess Kate has been recovering from her surgery from a gastrointestinal issue as well, so there's a lot happening in the UK.
Yeah, there really is such a difficult time right now for this family. Obviously, every cancer is different, but do we have any precedent for this within the royal family?
Certainly when you think of King George VI, who died of lung cancer and very, very abruptly, that's something that I think is in the minds of those in the United Kingdom that are older, that have seen this type of thing happen in the past, because this is what vaulted Queen Elizabeth II to the throne in 1952 at a very young age, and would do something pretty similar to William, who would be King William V. He was born in 1983, and so certainly more seasoned than his grandmother when she came to the throne in her mid-20s. But he's still a youngish man in his early 40s. And so this would be a test for the country and for William as well.
Very quickly, Professor, in terms of the King not being able to fulfill those public responsibilities, I assume William steps in at this point. What does that mean, though, for the royalty in general, for that office of the royals that they do hold in that area?
It certainly means a lot would slow down. Prince William slowed down, took a step back with Princess Catherine's surgery anyhow, because they have 3 youngest children. But he's announced a return to his formal duties, and in all likelihood he would take over from his father in a number of ways. But chances are, given the dual impacts and surgeries to those in the royal family, I think the public appearances will certainly be minimal moving through the early part of this year.
Okay. Professor Glen Duerr of Cedarville University, appreciate you weighing in. Thank you so much.
Thank you.